everyone, welcome back to Hands-On Games and happy Labor Day weekend everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hope it's nice where you're at. It's kind of hot here, but I wanted to spend some time doing a quick video today and highlight a fun little quick playing football game called Game Winning Drive by Downey Games. It's designed by Richard Coos and Philippe Riviere. It's published by Downey Games, but designed by Richard and Philippe. This is published back in 2007, so it's been out for a while. It's a drive-by-drive game, meaning when you play this game, you're not going to play every play in a football game, but you're also not going to roll just for the final score. You're actually going to note the result of each drive, and it's going to be pretty much every time one roll of 4 dice to give you the outcome of the drive. The first 2 dice will tell you, did the team score, did they turn it over? And the second pair of dice will tell you, if they scored, what kind of score was it? And if they turned it over, was it a punt, interception, fumble, etc. The game comes either PDF or box version. I bought the PDF. This is what the instructions look like. It's 3 double-sided pages. Very colorful, easy to read. Tells you everything you need to know. Gives you some optional rules. You've got 2-point conversions, overtime rules, a fourth quarter, fourth down option when a team needs to score a touchdown and a field goal just won't do, onside kickoffs, and home field advantage. The game plays in about 10 minutes. It's going to take you about 5 minutes to fill out this sheet. You'll notice that it has spots for ratings here at the left and the right for the home team and the visiting team. And these are the ratings you'll be rolling against during the game. So the actual teams themselves come on sheets that look like this. So this is the Super Bowl set. So this has everything printed out. And again, this came in a PDF form. I just printed out on my printer. Everything from the very first championship game all the way to the game last year. Each team, the actual rating sheet is what you're looking at right here. That's one team's worth of ratings. It includes basically their likelihood that they would actually score, on a particular drive, and what that score would be, field goal, a run, or a pass. Or on the defensive side, how likely they are to stop the other team from scoring. For the Super Bowl set, the teams are normalized for cross-era play, according to Downey Games. So it's fun to you have a tournament and you have access to all these teams. Costs less than $20. You get this immediately as a PDF, we print it out, and you start rolling in less than 15 minutes. So what I did this weekend and why this game is so cool, we took a little weekend away. We drove up to Anaheim this weekend to run a couple races. And all I did was I took this binder with me. In this binder, I had the rules. I had a bunch of score sheets that you can see are filled out here. And I had of course the teams themselves. So in this tournament, we've got the Chargers and the Seahawks coming out of the West, and the Eagles and the Steelers coming out of the East. And actually it's the 94 Chargers in the West and the 05 Seahawks, and the 80 Eagles and the 79 Steelers. So while I was up in Anaheim, we had some time to kill. I played the play-in games. Over in the East, the Eagles, the Jaworski 1980 Eagles beat the 79 Steelers 27-17. And the 94 Chargers beat the 05 Seahawks 34-32 in quite an exciting game. And what I'm going to do for you today is go ahead and play the championship game between the Chargers and the Eagles. I'll go ahead and on camera fill out the score sheet and then roll the dice and play through the game so you can see how this game plays. This is a quick play football game. This is not a Status Pro or Stratomatic or Pay Dirt or Inside Blitz or Second Season or any of those games. It's not a play-by-play game. It's really a game that you're playing to get a final score. A lot of people will use a game like Game Winning Drive to just fill out a longer project, whether it be a season or a bigger tournament. But that said, this game is just good enough that you can play a whole tournament or season of games with this game and get just enough flavor that you feel like it is telling a story. It just meets those minimum requirements, more so than some of the other ultra quick games that exist on the market, really for just being a final score generator or a results generator, so you can compile standings elsewhere in the league while you play out the primary games for whatever project you're running. So some folks on previous videos asked me to go ahead and get this to the table, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we are ready to get started. I did a little creative editing here, pasted a couple of pages together so you could see the Eagles from 1980, Super Bowl 15, and San Diego 1994, Super Bowl 29. A couple lovable losers for me, actually. I was rooting for both of these teams during those specific Super Bowls. And we've got our score sheet ready to go, but it's not filled in. That is kind of half of the game, so I thought I'd show you how that works. So let's walk through it. Like I said, once you get familiar with this game, it really is only about a 5-minute process. So let's start with the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Their normal score rating or range is 11 to 32. Now that gets adjusted by the scoring rating of the Chargers defense, which is -1. So in this game, the Chargers will not score on a die roll to 11 to 32. It will be 11 to 31. So you just go ahead and write that in there, and there you go. So there's your scoring range for the Eagles. Now, when they do score, there'll be a second roll, and you'll determine how they scored, either a touchdown run, a pass, or a field goal. Now, to get these ranges, it's a similar method. You look at touchdown run for the Eagles. It's a range of 11 to 25. Is that modified by the Chargers? No, it is not, because their defensive rating is a 0. So it's 11 to 25 for a touchdown run. And the first field goal rating is 26 to 34. That will also not change. That would only change if the touchdown run value had changed. Let's look at touchdown pass, 35 to 62 for the Eagles. And the defense, again, Chargers, it's not changing it either way. It's a +0. So it's a simple 35 to 62 for touchdown pass. And the field goal will remain 63 to 66. All right, now let's look at the turnover value. Since we adjusted it down 11 to 31 for scoring, turnovers now get adjusted. So instead of turnover being 33 to 66, it will now be a turnover on a 32 to 66. Okay, fumbles. Let's see if the fumble rating gets adjusted. It'll be a fumble on 11 to 15. After that, it roll between 33 and 66. And again, you'll see how this works in a minute. And let's see if San Diego adjusts that at all. +1. So instead of a fumble on 11 to 15, it's actually going to be a fumble on 11 to 16. Which means their punt rating now goes 17 to 34. So there's a little bit greater chance for a fumble because of the Chargers defense. All right, let's look at how interceptions are modified. 35 to 42 is the normal Philadelphia interception range. San Diego does not modify it at all, so it's still a 35 to 42 for interceptions. And you're already getting, you're getting the impression as you do these ratings how impactful a team's defense was. And to be honest, it doesn't look like the Chargers defense was all that impactful. And this Super Bowl set is normalized for cross-era play, so just know that. So punt is also going to be 43 to 61, so you fill that in. And finally, missed field goal, 62 to 66. Now let's look at punt returns. Now you'll notice here there's no value next to punt. That means there's no chance for the Eagles to return a punt for a touchdown. So simply strike through that field on the score sheet. Kick returns, same, no chance for a touchdown. Interception returns, same, no chance for an interception return. Fumble returns, okay. Now on fumbles, we do have a chance for a I'm sorry, get that in camera, for a return for a touchdown. Now you notice the range there is 11 to 14 with a number in brackets. If you roll a 14 when you're doing this fumble check, you'll have to do a second roll and hope for that value or less on the second roll for it to actually happen. So let's just write that in there, 11 to 14, 44 parenthetical, and then point after touchdown. When it says 11 to 66, that means they can't miss, so the PAT is always good. I just write the word good in here to always note that a PAT will always be good. All right, so the Eagles are set up. Now let's move on to the Chargers. The Chargers scoring rating is 11 to 33, and do the Eagles, yes, the Eagles defense does modify that. So instead of scoring on an 11 to 33, instead it's going to be an 11 to 26, and let me just show you why that works that way. If you look at this chart, you'll take a note at the 33, and counting down 3, starting from 33, 1, 2, 3, it takes you to 26. Remember, we're working with 2 6-sided dice, so 1, 2, 3 takes you down to 26. So the scoring range for San Diego is 11 to 26, so already we can see that the Eagles defense does have the upper hand in this game and will reduce the Chargers scoring opportunities. So touchdown runs, let's see, 11 to 21 is the range. And again, also being adjusted down by the Eagles defense. So instead of 11 to 21, we use this chart. We count down from 21, 1, 2, 3, and it's 14. Okay, so 11 to 14 is the range for a touchdown run. And a field goal now will be just simply adjusted based on that. So instead of a field goal being 22 to 34, the field goal will be 15 to 34. So this is just showing the Eagles defense for running is going to force more field goals than allow runners into the end zone. Touchdown passes, San Diego's normal rating is 35 to 53. And the defense for the Eagles will reduce that by 2. So instead of 35 to 53, it'll be 35 to 51. And field goals will be adjusted the same way. So instead of 54 to 66, it'll be 52 to 66. Turnovers, instead of 34 to 66 now, for the Chargers, it gets modified because the scoring was modified, so it's going to be 31 to 66. Let's see, fumbles, 11 to 13. The Eagles do modify that, -2, so instead of 11 to 13, it would be 11 to 11, and you always have to have one possible value, so there you go, and so that just means that fumble only on an 11. So the Eagles did not recover many fumbles that year. That means the punt rating is now going to be 12 to 34, or range, not rating. Interception range, 35 to 43, modified. Nope, it's going to remain 35 to 43. And the punt range will remain 44 to 64. And missed field goals, 65 to 66. Okay, can San Diego return punts for touchdowns? Yes, they can, 11 to 12. Kick returns, yes, 11 to 12 with a parenthetical 12. Fourth down, that's defense, we'll get to that. I'm sorry, I didn't get that for the Eagles, so let me get back to that. Interception returns, 11 to 21, parenthetical 31. Point after touchdown, it's always good. And fumble returns, not going to happen for them. And again, it's just the ability for them to score a touchdown off of a fumble return. Now, one thing I didn't talk about or didn't note was fourth down defense. So it's a -2 modifier for the Chargers. And for the Eagles, it's a -6 modifier. So we'll put that in the score sheet. Okay, so that is a complete score sheet. We have all the ratings in there, and now it's a matter of just playing the game. So again, that probably took us a little bit longer since I was talking through it, but normally that process will take you about 5 minutes, especially when you get these ranges memorized. It's really not that difficult. The way the game works is you're going to roll 4 dice, and you're going to read, and typically what the instructions say is pretty much what I go with. The first roll will be the red and white. The next one will be blue and yellow, and you read them, the darker colored die first. So this would be 65, this would be 51, this would be 12, etc. Same thing with the blue and the yellow, 65, 34, 15. And you roll them all together. So let's just do a sample roll. So this would be a 62 and a 46. So if the Eagles had the ball and they rolled a 62, you first check that either points scored or turnover. Well, 62 falls in the turnover range, and the next roll determines what kind of turnover it was. It was a 46, and that's in the punt range. That would have been a punt for that drive, and that's it, and you move on to the next drive. So that's how it works. Let's just do another example. Here's 14. There's a scoring drive. So 14 falls in the range 11 to 31. That's a score, and you use this roll to determine what kind of score it was. 65 falls in the field goal range, and that's it. It would have been a field goal for that drive. That is how gameplay works in game-winning drive, and you'll know, just by seeing that, you can see how it takes only 5 minutes to get through a complete game. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so we are ready to start. So let's just jump into it. And again, once the game starts, you don't need anything else. You don't need this, these sheets again. Everything's put aside. It's pretty much the dice, a pencil, and the score sheet. So the Chargers are going to start off as the home team with the ball, receiving the opening kickoff. And what you have to do is, since they do have a chance to always score on the kickoff, you roll against their kick return value here, which is 11 to 12, and see if they score a touchdown. They do not. Okay, so they just receive the ball as normal, and now you roll for the result of their drive. And it's a 32 and a 45. 32 is outside of their scoring range, and a 45 is a punt. All right, so nothing interesting happening on that first drive for San Diego. Now Philadelphia gets the ball. Now, one thing I should mention, on turnovers, if there had been a fumble or an interception and there was no return for a touchdown, the other team just took possession, what's cool is you assume that for the ensuing possession, you are going to increase the tens value of their scoring range. So if the Chargers had turned the ball over on a fumble or an interception and the Eagles did not return it for a touchdown, the very next drive and the next drive only, their scoring range would increase from 11 to 31 to 11 to 41. And this is to simulate better field position on average after a turnover. So that's a cool post-turnover feature of this game. So Eagles now have the ball. They roll a score. They roll a 21. That's a score. And their result is 16, which is a touchdown run, and their extra point is good. So Philadelphia's got the lead here in this championship game. Make a note that it was a touchdown run, extra point good, and the score is now 7-0 visitors. Chargers get the ball, but let's check to see if they return the kickoff for a touchdown. They get a 16. They needed a 11 to 12, so they do not return it for a touchdown. So special teams, no special teams craziness that play. Roll the results. They get a 45. That is not a score. 46 says that they punted the ball away again. So just another punt for another punt for San Diego. The score remains 7-0 Philadelphia. And I'm not rolling for a punt return for Philadelphia for a possible touchdown, since it's impossible for them to get one. So you just go right into their possession. And they rolled a 33, just outside their scoring range. So what kind of turnover was it? It was a 41. Which is an interception. All right, so Jaworski throws a pick. The Chargers get a chance to return it. On an 11 to 21, it's a possible interception return for a touchdown, and it's a 26. So they did not return it for a touchdown. But now San Diego gets the ball in good field position, so their scoring range for this next drive will be 11 to 36. And they score on a 24. That's a score. And the result is 42. And you check 42. And that is a touchdown pass. Extra point is good. So TD pass. Extra point good. And we are tied up at 7-7. We move on to the second quarter. Philadelphia does not score a touchdown on the kick return because they can't. Go ahead and throw the dice, and they score again with a 13. What kind of score is a 34? That's a field goal. So Philadelphia takes the lead back with a field goal. Now 10-7 Eagles. San Diego receives the kickoff. No touchdown on the kick return. So let's see what happens. It's a 35 that is outside of the Chargers scoring range. A 56 says they punt it away. Philadelphia gets the ball back. 46 is a turnover. 31 result is a punt. So the defenses are holding court. San Diego will try the punt return. They roll a 35. That's nothing. So regular possession for San Diego. 22, that's a score. And a 12, that is a touchdown run. A rare touchdown run. And San Diego now takes the lead back, and the extra point is good. Again, there's no chance for either team to miss their extra points. So they take the lead back at 14-10, with Philadelphia getting one more chance to score before halftime. And they do not. They roll a 55, and they roll a 66, which is a missed field goal. So they tried to kick a field goal with their last possession before the half, and they missed it. So that could come back to haunt them. That would have made the score 14-13, but as it stands, it's 14-10. So let's go ahead and fill in the scoreboard up here. In the first quarter, it was a 7-7 score, and in the second quarter, the Eagles scored a field goal, and the Chargers scored a touchdown. So there we go, 10-14 at halftime. So Philadelphia will get the ball to start out the second half. And it's a 44, which is not a score, and it's a 65. That's another missed field goal. Ho-ho! All right, so that's a big story in this game so far. That's 6 points that should be on the board for the Eagles that are not. So you can see how this game sort of starts writing a story as you play it, even though you're just playing it drive by drive. So San Diego now will also, because it was a missed field goal, they will have excellent field position, and their points scoring range will now be 11-36. And they score with a 31, and 26 result on a score is a field goal. So they answer back with a field goal. So San Diego now takes the lead 10-17. Philadelphia on the ensuing drive. Nope, a 53 is not going to be good enough. A 14 is a fumble. Okay, so Philadelphia now is going from bad to worse. 2 missed field goals and now a fumble. Now the Chargers get a chance here to return that fumble for a touchdown, but nope, their fumble return rating is a slash, so they do not get a chance to return that fumble for a touchdown. However, they do get the good field position, so they'll score an 11-36. So just like the missed field goal led to a field goal, let's see what the fumble leads to. So let's just go ahead and note that. Fumble. San Diego gets the ball with good field position. But they rolled a 66, so it's not going to be a score. So they did not take advantage of the good field position, and the turnover result is a 16, which is a punt. All right, so too bad. And the last possession of the third quarter goes to the Eagles. Oh, and they score. What did they get? A 45 is a touchdown pass. So 14 is in the scoring range, 45 is in the touchdown pass range, and the extra point is good. And after all that, we end the third quarter in a tie. Good game. All right. San Diego. Ensuing kickoff. Let's see if they can make a big special teams play. They do not. All right. So it's going to be a regular drive. And it's a 22. San Diego scores again. A 41 is a touchdown pass. All right. The scoring is ratcheting up. They answer right back. And let's go ahead and also fix the scoreboard. So it's now 17-24, but in this third quarter, we had the Chargers make a field goal. And the Eagles didn't score. Oh wait, the Eagles finished off. Okay, so there we go. So now the scoreboard is right, showing the end of the third quarter. It was 17-17. Now we started the fourth quarter. It's a touchdown pass for the Chargers, and the Eagles get the ball back. It's a 34. That is not a score. The result is a 65. It's a third missed field goal. Insane. That's pretty crazy. So, you know, there's no weather in this game, but maybe we assume it's a windy day. Let's see. So, another missed field goal for the Eagles. San Diego will get it in good field position. Can they take advantage? No, they can't. 64, they will not score. 44 is a punt. Now, you know, I'm talking out loud, and I don't do this when I'm playing the game, but, you know, kind of the calling and the emotion that comes out, I'm not faking. It's kind of like what's going on in my head when I'm playing these games. So San Diego punts it. So after all that, after 3 missed field goals and a fumble here in the second half, Philadelphia still has a chance. So here they go with their last drive of the game. If they do not score on this roll, that's it. That is their last chance for the game. Now, what's going to happen here, since it is their last possession, if they do happen to score and they only score a field goal, then they'll be able to use the fourth quarter, fourth down option and convert that field goal into a touchdown and try to tie it up. But let's see if that happens. If not, San Diego gets their last possession of the game as the home team and can just sit on the ball, run out the clock. It's a 43. The Chargers hold. Eagles do not score. The Eagles do not score. Their final possession results in a punt. You know, they were hoping for maybe for the Chargers to make a mistake, and let's go ahead and see what happens. So San Diego, on their last possession after the punt, rolls a 55. I'll go ahead and play it out. 55, that's a turnover. 35 result is an interception. All right, so some late drama. Now, there's really nothing in the rules that says that I could have had San Diego run the clock out there. So I'm going to play it as San Diego has to go ahead and do its final drive. So now, while it's highly unlikely on their last drive that San Diego would be throwing the ball, let's see what happens. It's an interception. The problem is the Eagles have no chance to return that interception for a touchdown. So even though it's an interception, no harm, no foul. The final score is not going to change. It's just a turnover. Had the Eagles had a possibility of an interception return, we could have had some late drama. But the way the game plays out, everybody gets an equal number of possessions, and the home team does have the ability to re-roll one die, re-roll one result. We're not even going to bother to take advantage of that because even though we rolled an interception, there's no need to re-roll it. San Diego can't score off of it, and time expires, and the game is over. So, the Chargers win it late, 24-17. And that is game-winning drive football. The 1994 Chargers win my little mini tournament. I hope you guys like that. This is really a neat game. It's less than $20. You get a lot of Super Bowl teams in this particular edition. You can also get every season that exists in the NFL. They have a bunch of CFL seasons for sale. I'll put the link to Downey Games down below in the video notes. It's fun to play this game not only as filler for your longer season projects, but also just to run tournaments. You can get through a whole season for a team in an afternoon, or you can run a larger single elimination or double elimination tournament, with a bunch of great teams or whatever. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And Downey Games also produces college teams for this game, and it's a lot of fun. You don't get the detail of player names and things like that, but it's not about that. It's just about rolling the dice and getting the drama and seeing the ebb and flow, seeing the impact that defenses can have on the game, and special teams. We didn't have any special teams heroics, but we could have. So, yeah, that's Game Winning Drive by Downey Games. I'm glad I got another Downey Games production onto my table. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more stuff by Downey Games, continue to make comments in my down below in the video. This was something that a couple people asked for, so I was glad to bring it to the channel. I do own a number of other games. Go back, I think, to my last video or 2 videos ago where I covered a bunch of Downey Games in my collection. I'll be happy to bring them to the table. And if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more content like this, especially sports board games content, please go ahead and subscribe. Would love to have you on. I'm also covering right now some operational level war games from Victory Point Games in the States of Siege series, which you may find interesting. If you're just coming over here looking for sports games, check out some of my other content as well. Hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. Everybody take it easy, go play some games, and I will talk to you soon.